We're going to give people a little bit of time to come on and
All
listen to
right.
my new little, I hope people can hear it. Um, Little opening for my lives that Phil Ray made this audio soundtrack for me. So I'm just letting people come on. As you're coming on, say hello. Put in SM if you're ready to hear about Sex Magic. Type in SM so we can know you ready to talk about sex magic, hear about sex magic. And let me know how you feel in this song. Let me know you can hear it. We're just going to give like one more minute for people to come on. And we're going to be sharing experiences about sex magic, ecstasy, joy. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Prandhara Prem. Just giving people a few minutes to come on. And I got Tresa here. She's an amazing sister who I have been blessed to kind of connect with. So I invited her on today. And I see people coming on. Type in SM. Let me know you here. Type in SM if you're ready to talk about sex magic. So I'm going to have Tresa introduce herself. She is a pleasure coach.
Hello,
And she's been
everyone.
doing many different things with sexuality. Okay, go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name is Tresa Simmons, and my company is the Bohemian Goddess. It is an umbrella company for the womb space healing nature's way, which we work with women in holistic health, and also conversations with the sister, where we really have different conversations and do different things around educating women on many areas, including sex, sexuality.
Hmm. And I know you love your work because let me tell you, I love my work. So who cannot love their work when they work in the field of sexuality? Like, how can you not?
Oh,
So I
right.
don't know how we became Facebook friends, but I remember you took one of my Tantra courses. And after that, I was seeing your page and I was seeing how many amazing things that you do in terms of sexuality, the things that you're doing yourself. And I knew you did something with sex magic. So I was like, all right, let's have you come on and let's talk about sex magic. So, I want to say a little bit about, as I work with Tantra, really, sex magic is something that naturally I've kind of been working with, but not even knowing that. Like a lot of times I have clients coming in when we're working with sexual energy, right? So whenever you work with sexual energy, it has the power to manifest things a lot quicker. So a lot of times, I'll tell people when we're doing a tantric meditation or I'm doing tantric massage on you to think about an intention, set a goal, something that you want to work on. And, it just happens a lot quicker. And so, but then I kept hearing this thing about sex magic, sex magic. I'm like, what is this? So when I looked into it, I'm like, oh, okay, it's basically what I'm doing. Like it wasn't nothing that different, that special. It's great. It's something that we all have and that we can do. So, I thought that it'd be great to talk about it today. And since you have some great experiences with sex magic, I really want people to be able to hear about that and ask any questions you have for us. So I see people coming on. Please say hello so we can know who's there. Type in SM. Let me know that you're there. You can say hello. Type in SM. Let us know that you're ready to learn about some sex magic here. And also, whatever questions that you have, feel free to type whatever questions that you might have about sex magic. So let's get right to it. So, Tresa, so how did you get into sex magic? Like, what happened? How did you first hear about it? What was that like?
Well, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, I was taking a goddess one-on-one class through Rhonda Bird, and at different times she talked about it. She mentioned it, and so one day I went to her and I was like, okay. I asked for a little bit more information, and then I was like, do you know anybody who would do this with me? And she literally gave me the name of someone.
Wait, wait,
Uh,
wait, wait, wait. So you took this a workshop
yeah,
and became interested, and you
yeah,
were like, "Do you know someone you could do this with?"
yes, I
Okay,
did.
I just want to make sure I heard that right. And so, you didn't know this person?
Absolutely not.
Never met him?
Never met him.
Okay, so continue on. I'm listening.
All right. So I will say that with Rhonda's workshop, I took it several times over and over because I really wanted to learn more. And I felt like the first time it was good, the second time was better. And I was just learning. And so I inboxed the person and said, you know what? I told him who I was and what I wanted. He thought I was really trying to be funny at first. And then he kind of like, okay, let me think about it. And then he agreed. And so that was my first experience with Sex Magic. And he
Okay.
had me set an intention, as you talked about.
Hmm. Now, is he someone that worked in this area of tantra or sacred sexuality or sex magic, or was it like just a friend of hers or something?
I think a little bit of both.
Hmm.
And so,
Okay.
yeah.
And so then what was that like? You're like, okay, yeah, like I want to know. So don't be holding back.
Right, 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 right.
I think people want to know. So like, okay, so you go over to his place, or did he come over to your place?
No, I went to his place.
You went to his place. Okay. And then, so you both set your intentions and
Yes,
then,
I'm sorry. I
okay. So,
think before I went to his place, I think we kind of just hung out. I want to say we hung out because we started hanging out afterwards, but I'm not quite sure if we hung out first time because he wanted me to be comfortable with him. And so we
right.
talked about it for sure and set the intention.
Okay. And so then, okay, so you talked and you discussed what your goals were and just kind of connected to make sure you know him and he knows you. Then you go over to his house and like what? You immediately have sex, or like are you
So
drinking
kind of
some
talked a
wine
little
to
bit.
relax or something?
No, actually, we had sex magic a couple times, but
Uh-huh.
and then later we kind of become lovers for a little while. But the thing was, no, we talked, and
Right.
then got comfortable with each other, and eventually we had sex. But we held the intention. He asked me, what did I want?
Right.
And I feel like the womb space healing nature's way was my first business, and that was one of the things we kept holding space for. And over a period of time, it just started happening, and other things started happening for me.
Right. Like what kind of things started happening for you?
Well, my business came along. Then conversations with a sister was born, and I was able to manifest. And he taught me things like that I could also self pleasure and do some of the same things. But the intention with someone is always like double than with yourself if that person really knows how to hold space for you.
Mm-hmm.
So um, I started putting on things myself, just things that I wanted, businesses that I wanted. There was just, things started opening up for me. And like
Right.
I said, he became such a great friend that I could just talk to him about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So you set specific intentions with your business, and then before having the sex magic with him. So, because I've never actually like had sex with someone else to try to manifest anything. So that's new, and I knew that that's part of sex magic. You can also do sex magic alone,
yes,
masturbating, or even just working with the sexual energy, doing tantric meditations, doing breath work. So there's many different ways. So you don't have to go out and have sex with someone, but that is a way to do it as well. So I do want to make that clear so people who are watching are not thinking that's the only way to do sex magic. All right. Hello, Shay has a question here. What do you mean when you say hold space?
Like he said, he knew what my intention was. So when we both orgasm or whatever, he had the same intention that I had. So he knew what
Mm-hmm.
I wanted. So he kept that in his mind as well as I kept that in my mind. That was what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was how when I say he held space.
Right. So basically, also, in addition to what she just said, you can hold when you're holding space, like I do that as a therapist for my clients. You know, when we're doing workshops, sometimes I'm holding space or another therapist as there's holding space. That's basically kind of maintaining that intention that you have, what you want to work on, so that it's kind of like keeping that environment, keeping that energy there. So that's a term that we use, holding space, and it doesn't have to necessarily be just with sex magic. You know, you could be in a ritual, and
Being
one
in
of the leaders is holding space. I'm sorry, go ahead.
be in agreement with.
Yes, being in agreement with. So those are just ways to think about holding space. That's a great question. Thank you, Shay. Um, Feel free to ask any more questions. Anyone else? I see people on here. So any questions that you might have, feel free to ask about sex magic. Have you tried it? If you've tried sex magic, type in yes so I can know if you so we can know if you've tried it or not. If you're interested in trying it, let us know. So again, so I'm a little bit curious. Again, so I've done sex magic, and so a lot of times people are like Prandhara or Renee. You know, I go by both names. Girl, you must be so rich. You do everything. Like you're traveling all over the place. You know, you're doing like every time I look at you, you're in some country, Southeast Asia, Europe, US, somewhere. Like you must be balling. And so the funny thing is, I'm not. Half the times you can look at my bank account and it might be at zero or like $10 or something. It fluctuates. But the thing is, when I want to do something, I work with the sexual energy. So, for example, somebody might invite me to go to Italy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. I want to go to Italy. Like I might literally have $0 in my bank account. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to Italy. And I just know it's going to happen. Like I don't think twice. I'm not worried about how it's going to happen. I start planning like I'm doing, and I will either do tantric meditation and I'm breathing and I'm breathing and I'm holding on that intention, or sometimes I'll go in and I'll do a self massage and then self-pleasing. I'll either with just my hands or a vibrator, and I'm holding on to that intention that I want. And just before I orgasm, I make sure that that intention is right there and I'm thinking about it, and it just makes it stronger. So I'll let you guys in on my little secret.
Yeah.
That's the
And so I also want to say, so I'm working with like a co-host with Janine Ingram, and we do a new moon ritual every month. We call it the new moon ritual weekend because basically also add something like when we do the one of them is the manifestation, the new moon ritual. The first one is the manifestation, the art of sexual manifestation. And the second one is we just do a lot of wonderful things. Like one time we had a yoni or pussy paint and sip, and the other day we had
Ooh,
uh,
that sounds nice.
that was, and then this past month we had a chair dance, the art of chair dancing or lap dancing, and we had someone come in and teach us, a professional teach us about that, because sexual energy and moving your lower pelvis releases energy, and it's very helpful for a woman in what she wants to manifest. So what I wanted to also say about that is when I first started doing this work with her, um, she was talking to me about how um, she's also a sexual manifestation coach, and she does a lot of work around it. And she took a group to Bali, but nobody
Mhm.
had money. And she got them together and they all did sex magic. Maybe not like together, but you know what I'm saying? Like they all
Mhm.
set kitchen and she had them do that. And she said every last one of them ended up going. So she let me listen to one of her audios about how she does it because she works with the chakra.
Mm-hmm.
It's so powerful because I've worked with Jade English, who does a lot of sacred workshops, sacred sexuality workshop. And I remember the first time that that the energy was so powerful that it shot out of my yoni. But I also
Mm-hmm.
remember with Jean the first time the energy was so powerful, I felt it shoot out my head.
Right.
And so she let me listen to it, but I was just only gonna listen to it. That's all I was gonna do. I wasn't gonna do nothing
Mm-hmm.
but listen to it. But as she started it, it was so powerful as I started listening to it that I started getting into it and self-pleasuring. And that day I ended up getting another coaching client. And since then, like I've held spaces for different things and different things have happened for me. Money is coming in. I one time I was holding space and I literally felt the sense energetically of a man at the foot of my bed. And not too long after that, I met a man who knows all
Mm-hmm.
of John, what is it? Man Talk Chia, who knows all of
Mm-hmm.
sexual energy, the how to move it up and down and semen retention and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my God. So it is very powerful to be able
Mm-hmm.
to use it for different things to manifest.
Yes, it's very powerful. So, Lily, hello, Lily. She asked, so if I want another baby, I can imagine that new baby during an orgasm.
I would
Yeah.
say
Go ahead.
yes, but
Go
she's
ahead.
gonna also walk in faith afterwards. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yes.
so you set an intention and you bring in the invisible into the visible, but you still have to do the other work. Like tomorrow, you can't just say, okay, well, if it didn't happen, it's not gonna happen, or something like that. You have to really hold space for that you believe is gonna happen. I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea how it's gonna open for me for my business. I had no idea how things was gonna work out and things that have happened, or even how I was gonna actually even go deeper into this. Like I love it, but I had no idea. Matter of fact, I never thought this would be my life because I was sexually abused, and sex for me was also in that I grew up in the church trying to deal with all that trauma, and I was like, ugh, these women out here
Mm-hmm.
acting skanks or hoes or all of this stuff I would say about women, while secretly I wanted to be like them.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily be them per se. I even had had admiration for the what we would call the prostitute and hoe because
Right.
they were able, even whatever reason they felt like they needed to do it, they had owned that and they did it. Some like
Mm-hmm.
maybe doing it for just to take care of their family or whatever. And it wasn't so much the act itself that they did, but the fact that um, a lot of these women did not think about what we said. Or they didn't let me, I didn't feel like they felt they cared one way about what we said or what we thought about them. And so in that respect, that
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that. I wanted to be able to be so comfortable in my own sexuality and in my
Right.
own sexuality.
Yes. And let me add on to that, to Lily's question. Definitely, I agree with what Tresa says. You can definitely imagine, having the baby. And so when you work with sexual energy, it just makes it more powerful, makes it, you know, give you greater chances of manifesting what you want when you're setting that intention. And I had a lady who came to me who had been trying to have a baby, didn't have not one baby. She was having a lot of difficulties having a child, getting pregnant. And after we did work, she got pregnant, and she was like, "Oh my God, I really feel like it was this work, doing this work with you." Now, a lot of the things that I did with her, because she was having difficulty, we were doing the sex magic where we were imagining that imagining the baby in her womb. We were doing a lot of hip movements, because our hips hold on to blockages in there. And so we're still working with the sexual energy. So again, remember what I said in the beginning, that when you're working with sexual energy is the same as using is like same as doing sex magic. So there's many different ways. It doesn't have to be just having sex or masturbating, but you can be working with that sexual energy. So doing the hip movements, doing your Kegels exercises, contracting the PC muscle, relaxing, and doing hip movements, and just visualizing having a baby. Now, another important thing is you don't want to be stressed out. Like you don't want to be like, oh my God, I have to have one. I have to have another one, because that's going to counter it, you know? So you want to be relaxed, go in faith, like Tresa said, trust and know that it's going to work out. Do your visualizations, imagining, set that intention every time that you're making love. And don't go and have sex with your partner to be like, I just want a baby. Have sex with your partner to make love and connect and really, feel. Don't put that pressure of just trying to have a baby every time that you're going to have sex, because that also puts stress into it. So you want to relax, you want to have fun, you want to enjoy. Okay. So Lily says, wow, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Um, Carlene, hello, Carlene. And Cindy. Cindy says, orgasm is a powerful manifestation energy. Yes, it
Yes,
is. Orgasm. Go ahead.
yes.
Now,
No, it is. And I want to just one last thing, kind of go back to Lily. One last thing. I also do. I'm a womb sauna practitioner, and that's just someone who does vaginal steaming. I call it coaching on a pot, because we don't just sit women on a pot, leave them. We hold space with them and help them where they can work through things. And I just wanted to say also that that's a good way to make sure there's no wound trauma left there, that there's nothing there that's being held that needs to be released. Just another thought.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. And those are just many different things. There's many different things if people are, and I know you didn't say this, but when you have difficulty, you know, like Tresa said, doing the vaginal steaming, the yoni steaming, that is so important. That helps so much. Like it really, really does. Like that's an amazing type thing that you can do. You can contact her or someone else in your area, or even just have herbs ordered to you. I don't know if you send herbs if you're not in the same area. Um, you know, that's one of the things that I used to do, even just for fibroids. I used to do the yoni steaming,
Yeah.
and that was great for that. Um, Another thing that's great is Yoni eggs. Yoni eggs also works, like, it's really good because, again, you're still working with that sexual energy. So doing Yoni eggs helps to also relieve whatever traumas that's in your body. Um, if you want Yoni eggs, I have a contact. Tresa might has a contact too. I don't know if you work with Yoni eggs.
Yes.
Um, do you work with Yoni eggs as well, or you have a contact?
I have a contact. Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you can message any of us. We have some contacts. I do teach how to use Yoni eggs. I actually do courses. I'm actually doing a course in Portuguese right now. I just put up a flyer on
Yes.
Facebook and Instagram, but it's all in Portuguese. Um, but I do teach Yoni eggs and Kegel exercises, because it's so important for women as well. It's so important to just strengthen your PC muscle and just doing work. Like if there's a lot of blockages, tantric therapy helps as well. So anyway, we're digressing because you
Yes.
didn't even say any of this about having problems or anything like that. But we thought that it was really important. And going back to what Cindy said real quick about Cindy also has a contact for Yoni eggs and Yoni ones also, and Yoni steaming. Okay, so Lily, you're in great hands.
Yes.
She said, "Oh wow, I didn't consider womb trauma. Thank you both. You're welcome." So
You're
yeah,
welcome.
you know, even just giving birth creates is traumatizing. So that's putting on trauma in our bodies, and so one of the things, especially with women of color, we already have so much trauma in our bodies, just from our bodies have cellular memory, which holds on to the traumas from our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors. And so sometimes we're holding on to things that's not even ours. So
Yes.
it's so important. If you go to the doctor and you're having difficulty with getting pregnant or whatever, the doctor's not going to go into the energetic, thing and be like, oh, it could be this, you know. Oh, so Lily says her first birth was traumatic with the doctors. So yeah, and that is very traumatic, just in general. So it's so important to like release those traumas that's held into your body. And so that might be, why you're having a difficult time right now. So I definitely say, message me at the end, message Tresa. I do virtual online tantric therapy courses to really release those traumas in the body. So maybe doing that in addition to yoni steaming and setting your intentions will really help. Um,
And may I add one more last thing?
yeah.
One last thing I would love to add is meditation. I did a womb meditation for 7 days straight. And all of a sudden, these men's name kept popping up, and I never connected it. And it was like about the 7th day, I was like, oh my God, a man's name that I had been intimate with for like maybe 20, 25 years earlier. When it popped up, I was like, oh my God. Then it was like a light came on. My womb was actually releasing the names of all the men and their energy from me. And so,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be like she's been with a lot of men. It's just this is another way of just getting, preparing your womb, meditating with your womb, finding out,
Yeah.
that it might need. You may not choose. Sometimes, like you said, it's energetic things. It's not necessarily the physical body.
You know what? We're going to have to talk about this on another live because this is good because there's a lot of information out there. And there's another thing that I do is a cleansing with the egg, like a real egg, like you eat eggs.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a really good one that I learned here in Brazil to do a cleansing that cleanses all of the energy of the people, your exes that you've been with. So there's tons of stuff out there. Let's do another live on that so we can get into that. There's that, and there's also a cleansing with garlic. Really
Ooh.
great, strong stuff. Yeah. So
Okay.
Lily says, "Oh, some people. Hello, NC Walker. Welcome. Hello, Vicky Washington. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get tantric energy healer. Um, GE get letters missing or something like that."
Good.
Cindy says, a womb meditation. I need to do that. Yeah, that'll be
Good.
really, really good. Okay. And Lily says, okay, thank you. We haven't tried, but I'm thinking of trying for a new baby. We really want one, but the trauma is what's been interfering with me wanting to full on try. Okay. I hope that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I need
Yes,
to deal
yes.
with a traumatic birth. I will try the eggs too. So, you know what? I would definitely say, there's a lot of doulas. So I would say, and Tresa may know more about this as well. I would say if you want to have another birth, what's going to help with the trauma, you can get a midwife, get a doula. Am I saying it correctly? Doula or doula? Because I'd be speaking it
Doula.
in Portuguese. Doula. Because I'd be saying it in Portuguese. I'm like, I forget how you say it in English. So you can get that and you can go a natural route, and that can really help you to make sure you feel at ease and you feel comfortable with your next birth, because it can be so traumatic. Okay, so Cindy said she would be interested in the egg and garlic that you're speaking about. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I'll do another live on it. Yeah, we can do another live and talk about that, or you can also message me and I can go into full detail as to how to do the actual ceremony. It is a ceremony. Um, so yeah, I can definitely tell you how to do that. And it's connected to the moon cycles, so it's not like you just go and do it anytime. But going
Mhm.
back to Sex Magick, um, Lily says, "Thank you both so much. You are a blessing."
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes. And so, this is part of why I'm doing these lives, because I want I want to create a space where we can talk about sex, where we can talk about sexuality, where we can talk about these different things, because a lot of times people just don't know, what's out there. People don't realize that there's trauma that's inside them that may cause blockages, and one of the things I thought about when Tresa was talking about how strong orgasm is orgasm is so powerful. Um, orgasm is so powerful that that energy have been repressed because we live in a patriarchal society, and they know how powerful it is, and they know how strong it is, and so especially women especially, we're so powerful. And if we connect to our sexual power, our sexual energy, and we're orgasming and setting intentions, oh my God, the world can't stop us. And so
No.
it's about dominating and controlling us so that we're not in our power, that we're not in our full strength. And so Sex Magick is also a way of liberation. Sex Magick, what Tresa was talking about when she was in a church, and she thought she had to be godly whatever that is. Well, I don't know even what the heck that is. That's something somebody made up to put fear in us, you know. And so she thought she had to be godly, but then she saw these women who were empowered in their power, being free, and then there was a part of her that envied that wished she could be like that, But then she's talking about them, and that's like, very common. So many people do that, and then it's, once you get out of it, and you're like, you awaken, you're like,
Yeah.
this is not life.
And can I
Yeah.
say, oh, this was something I really wanted to say. So once I started understanding about sex magic, I understood it in one degree, like you can manifest stuff, but I really didn't really understand how empowering it was as a woman, which is a little bit different. And so
Mm-hmm.
guy, we were talking, and okay, so we became intimate. We knew each other, and we still friends 6 years later. And he was the first man, I was like 52, 53, that I had a vaginal orgasm with. And once
Mm.
I realizing how powerful it was, I remember one time, but you're not really supposed to do it on people that don't know what you're doing. But I didn't realize that I was really doing that, because while I'm riding him, there's these thoughts, and I'm staring at him, looking at him, and he was like, "Oh my God!" He was like, it felt like you was sucking my soul out. He had to lift me up off of him, and I was like, "Oh my God!" So I didn't realize the energy of, I mean, and I got mine, but the whole thing was I didn't realize the energy of you could, like, I wasn't like trying to bind him or anything. But what I was thinking in my thoughts, in my mind, I just kept saying it over and over and over. And I really found out how empowering it was to be able to, to experience it this way. And to be able to have sex magic or enjoy sex or anything around that, you have to have a voice. You have to ask what you want. So also this has been opening me up to ask, to really experiment and experience more about sensuality, my senses, and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting
So
over my
you
head.
scared them with that energy.
It was like really my first time. Like the other time was, I enjoyed my lover. I enjoyed the man who helped me get in that experience. That this man was somebody I actually was in love with, and I wasn't talking to anybody else at this time. And I had no idea how powerful it was and what I could do. And once I figured it out, oh my God, it's like, okay, it's going to happen.
Yes. So Cindy said she's been there, and she also said she is a white moon bleeder. And then
Mm.
Vicky said, "Empowered pussy is God consciousness."
It
Yes, sis.
is. It is.
Yes.
Thank you, Vicky. And I had no idea, but it did awaken me in a way as a woman, um, as a divine woman, feminine woman, in ways that I had no idea. So I'm grateful for that.
Yes. And that's the thing with sex magic. You can use sex magic to like send energy to someone, to do a prayer, to do healing work. So there's, so many different things that you could use sex magic for. I think somebody loves your earrings.
Ah,
Um,
thank you.
'Cause, them earrings are everything. Both of y'all. Oh, she loves both of our
Thank
earrings.
you. Thank
Okay, because I
you.
was like, I know she had to be talking about yours. Let me see, get closer so I can see your earrings. Oh, it's a vagina. Look at that, legs
Yeah,
wide open. I love it.
thank you.
Yes. I want
Thank
my
you.
set. Where can we order those?
Her name is Shari, and I can put the. Let me see. Let me grab it, and I'll put it in the chat. I'm just
Okay,
gonna
you can
have
put
to
it
do.
in the chat after. You can put it in the chat after because it'll stay there. So we'll put
Okay.
it in the chat after. Well, what about my head wrap? Y'all, are y'all
I
feeling my
love
head wrap?
it. I
This is my
love
first time wearing a
it.
head wrap.
I love
So yeah, so going back to your experience. Okay, so so you had sex, and then like you had sex with the guy, and you set the intentions, and you really saw like your things, what you wanted with your work manifest. um and what else were you saying? Like, so did you, and I'm just curious, did you guys like set the room? Did you like have candles lit,
He,
incense, use oils.
he had oils and stones, but he didn't technically use it on me because is conscious about some of those things. I'm sure he had already
Mhm.
prepared. I didn't know what I was getting in. I didn't know until like a couple times in what to expect. And then, like I said, we became friends. We could talk about everything. As I was learning about what I want my business to be like, he was very influential in working that and supporting me in that. And that's what's happening now with the new moon rituals, because I'm finding that I'm gaining more income, more clients, um, asking all kinds of questions and things are coming.
Right. Okay, so thank you. They're answering my question. I just, had to make sure. They said gorgeous wrap. I look beautiful. Thank you. Sister needs goddesses need compliments too.
Yes, yes,
we, we have to make sure we're doing it. So
yes.
sorry.
No, no,
Sorry.
you're good.
Okay. And so you were also talking about how you had sexual trauma, so you've been abused. Do you feel like this doing the sex magic has helped with your abuse?
Yes, but if you don't mind, can I back up a little bit on that and just kind
Yeah.
of a couple things about that? So
Yeah.
one of the things was, I have to say, it has helped because I've had the experience. So what I would say is a lot of my first experience, my therapist has said, not really call it uh losing my virginity and things like that, because that really wasn't that was when an abuser took what was not his. So anyway, I was like 10 and a half. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of experiences like back and forth since then. And I was also scared of my energy because even though I was trying to not like be out there like that, it was oozing out. So I had a
Mm-hmm.
supervisor where I worked tell one of my girlfriends every time I walked past him he want to fuck me. And there was just this kind of stuff. So in that way, I feel like there was a lot of disrespect around it. But I'm bringing that up to say there were men that hurt me, but there were also men that saved me.
Mm.
And so this is help, but it's also help because like the person who was willing to do sex magic with me taught me about a tenderness with men that I did not have. The guy who
Mm-hmm.
I had my first orgasm with. When I first decided to come out about then really come out and talk about the sexual abuse and all this stuff. One of my therapists, and I was living in Michigan at the time, she told me that there was a sex group that was going on, like, and it was like a focus group. She thought it would be good for me. And I get there, and I'm the only straight woman, and there is no straight man. And I had an opportunity to stay there or leave, and I just stayed.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed and listened to their stories, listened to my stories, and ironically, it was a
Mm-hmm.
white gentleman who had been sexually abused. And when he told his story, it broke me wide open. I grieved so bad there and went home and grieved. And I remember calling the guy
Wow.
that I had my first vaginal orgasm with. So that tells you I didn't carry this stuff around 40 something years because I'm now 52 or 53, somewhere in there. And I'm asking him to write a poem for me. And he did. He wrote a poem for me to help me to say
Mm-hmm.
what I couldn't say. And then in the meantime, there were like I have brothers and who have been just like very helpful that I could talk about this stuff with. Writing in a book. So yeah, I would often say that sex magic is help, but it's kind of helped from the back doorway because there was men that I did things with that really allowed me to really see that sex can be beautiful in a different kind of way than the way
Mm-hmm.
that I had experienced. Um, yeah, because I was married, had children, and still did not really enjoy sex. I had it, but didn't really enjoy it for a lot of reasons. Some of the trauma and all this stuff. So yeah, I would say sex magic has helped. And like I said, it's helped because it was men that hurt me, but it was also in this experience, I had men who supported me.
Right, beautiful. So what could you say to somebody who's interested in trying sex magic who hasn't tried it before? Did you freeze?
I
Can you
think
hear me?
so. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we froze. I'm looking crazy, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
you
I'll
froze,
just
but we can hear you. So,
okay.
what would you say to those who might be wanting to try Sex Magic, might be afraid to try it, like so that they can be like, okay, let me try this.
I would say first of all, maybe before Sex Magic, if they've never self-pleasured, if they've never touched themselves and things like that, to give themselves that experience. Be mindful because sometimes those experiences will cause you to have breakthroughs and cry and stuff like that. So I would say if
Mhm.
not that, prepare yourself. And then for those who want to try Sex Magic, set the mood, set the mood. Like I've done stuff with through other like Debbie Maisha. I think you've had some stuff. I've done things where I've gotten under the full moon at this time and whatever, and opened
Mhm.
my legs to the moon and just begin to do to just begin to touch my body and self pleasure and just think about not just only going for the genitals, but
Mhm.
really to connect with your body. That's one powerful thing is really to connect. It's healing me too, Vicky. Um,
Yes, me too.
yeah,
Yeah.
not not just run to your genitals. And then as you begin to self pleasure, and I say set the mood because you deserve it. So take a bath, light some candles, treat yourself like you would want a man to who you really want and who's into you versus a man who just comes to like, okay, let's get it and it's done. You don't want to
Exactly.
treat it like that man would treat you because that's another form of trauma. I
Yes.
don't think we women understand that, but not connecting with our bodies and being disconnected and getting on just with it, that's telling your body it's like treating you like a man would that you would want more from. And so I
Right.
would suggest that women don't do that. And and then self-pleasure and hold that space that right before you get ready to orgasm, hold that space in your mind, what you literally want. And give it a try. Um, and so those would be some of the things that I would say.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I think that's great advice. Great advice. So, I see more people are coming on. If you have any questions, let us know if you have any questions for us. Cindy says it's healing her too. And Vicky says, I love your picture, Vicky. I love your hair, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't want to be hopped.
She don't want to be hopped on. She don't want to just somebody just to hump her. I think that even
Yeah.
maybe just kind of get on and get off.
Yes, exactly. And Cindy said, yes, hold space for yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Treat yourself
And
like the way you want a man to treat you.
And I like that you said that. That's so important because I work with a lot of women who are like single and they're like very much wanting a partner, very much wanting a man. And then I'll say to them, okay, what is it that the man will be doing for you that you want? They create the list and then I'm like, okay, are you doing those things for yourself? The majority of the times they're not. So I'm like, well, first let's start with you doing what you want from that partner. Let's have you start loving yourself, doing exactly what you need. Then what you're doing is you're loving yourself, you're self-loving, you're taking care of yourself, you're changing your vibration. So that way you can then find a man that can give you what you want. And you might even realize, I don't need that from a man. I would love other things. And I think that when you're not coming from a place out of like being desperate, like, oh my God, I need this, I need this, you're open to be able to accept a man as he is, and being able to accept what he can give you without any pressure of he has to be this, and this, you know.
And
So
what I would like to add to that list is water vibrates at its own level. So you don't really have to go looking for him. He will find you. You will find each other.
yes.
So, so that was one of the things I would really say about that. And when you hold space and you do your work, then that's the type of quality of you will have. I won't say
Mhm.
it'll speak, but um, like I said, water reaches its own level. And so if you're vibrating down here, start watching yourself. observing the kind of men you're getting, because they're a reflection of where you are. I'm not saying like you're bad and all these things, but maybe what do we need to work on in ourselves? If we keep getting all these men who maybe don't want to work, or maybe have certain traits, like where are we drawing, where are we bringing that in for ourselves?
Yes. So Alicia says, loving this conversation. Yes, yes, yes. And Vicky, you can manifest a tantric lover to honor your feminine and honor the masculine. Yes. And I do want to add, I want to piggyback on what you said, Tresa. You know, you don't have to go looking because you'll vibrate, but at the same time, you can't just stay home. You can't stay home
Oh no,
doing nothing. Like,
oh, no,
you
I
know,
didn't
and I know you
say
didn't
that.
mean that. I know you didn't mean that. I'm just saying because some people might be like, okay, well, I ain't got to go looking and they're going to just stay home. So I know you didn't mean that, but I'm just clarifying for those
Yes, yes,
people.
yes.
You still have to be active doing what you enjoy. So not going out looking and searching, but doing what you enjoy. You enjoy going to the gym, go to the gym. You enjoy going for walks, go take walks. You enjoy bowling, go bowling. Whatever it is that you enjoy, I said bowling. I haven't done bowling in like years and years and years. But whatever it is that you enjoy, do it and live your life. And then, you'll find that person. Like if you love art, go to art museums, you know? And I want to add something. Don't go out with a whole bunch of girlfriends. Because then it's gonna be hard to meet somebody because y'all gonna be talking. I generally meet people a lot easier. Not that I'm trying, but when I'm by myself. I love salsa dancing. So I would always go salsa dancing by my friend because most of my friends didn't like salsa dancing. And I would always meet a guy, because when you're with your friends, y'all end up talking and you're talking, then sometimes guys feel intimidated to go up and talk to you because they're like, wow, she might turn me down and then I'm gonna be all embarrassed and look like a fool. So he won't come up and approach you. So either if you're like by yourself or maybe with one girlfriend, it does kind of give you more chances if you want that. Just throwing that out there. Oh yes, Cindy
Yeah.
said, go out alone and vibe on your own. Yeah, yeah. Work
And
on what
one
you
of
want. Go ahead. I was just
well,
reading.
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just read real quick. I was just reading what some people wrote. Cindy said, go out alone and vibe on your own. Work on what you want for yourself. They will find you. Yes. Vicky says, pleasure, passion, bliss. And Carlene says, so interesting.
Yeah.
And then Cindy, a couple more comments here. Um, and then Cindy says, you won't have men come toward you that aren't on your energetic level. Yes. And Vicky says, heart and pussy connection
Yeah.
is key. Yes. Yes. All
Yeah.
right, go ahead.
No,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things I wanted to say too, is that I'm called the priestess of pleasure. And in
Ooh, I
being
like
that,
that.
yeah, so some of
I
that
need
is
me a priestess of pleasure.
and some of
Let's
that
give me
is
pleasure, baby. Like, go
I know,
ahead.
right? I know, right? But some of that is about our sexuality and sensuality. But some of it is about particularly women, like I work with all women, but particularly women my age who think it's way too late and it's not. And I want to add, when you talk about that, fun equals pleasure. How many of you
Hmm.
don't know how to have fun? Uh, I am so learning. I am so learning because that was not my thing. At one point in my life, I was totally addicted to pain. I was so
Hmm.
messed engulfed in pain that I had no clue. And then even as I started to understand how to move away from it and what that looked like and how to stop trauma bonding with a bunch of folks, I faced one day I had stopped having all those kind of bonds with my friends, but I hadn't stopped having those bonds with myself. And
Hmm.
in clearing all of that stuff, you sometimes you have to learn what you never knew or relearn what
Hmm.
you stop doing it. So for me, I
Yes.
still have times where I'm trying to learn what is really fun. What is pleasure? And I know to the degree what some things are touch, taste, smell, or those kind of things, because you can find your senses and you can just like really work with those. But I mean, there's a bigger thing than just And so I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's help women to rewrite their stories and
Mm-hmm.
understand, have fun, things like that too, equal pleasure. And those
Yes.
type of us vibrate at a higher level. When I, instead of, and when you're going out and looking for a man, if you're having all this fun and not even setting yourself up at night when you get ready to go or go to party that day, thinking about a man, but just thinking fun, 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 you already sending energy out into the universe. I'm gonna have fun this night. Now, whatever happens, just happens because our energy do go before us. It goes in the room before we go in the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true. And I guess that's the magic of sex magic,
Yeah,
helping us to get out of our pain as well. Like, you're
yeah,
saying so many of us, we're so used to being in pain or uncomfortable that we've gotten comfortable in our pain and our uncomfortability.
yes,
So,
yes,
it's important to realize that we were put here for pleasure. Like, we're sexual beings. So there's nothing wrong with having pleasure. There's nothing wrong with experiencing pleasure. That's our birthright.
yes.
So let's enjoy that. Like, let's get out of the pain. Let's get out of the suffering. We're not here to suffer. We were not put on this earth to suffer, you know? So, yeah. So, go ahead.
So I just wanted to say, and how many times, we talk about sexual energy and it's powerful. But how many times before we don't live in the bedroom, everything really starts before that. How many times have we learned to just enjoy a cool glass of water? It may seem like nothing. How many times have we learned to just enjoy the water on our hands when we wash dishes or the sun on our face? So there's so many ways of receiving pleasure that it's like what you focus on grows. And the more we begin to focus on all these different things that bring us pleasure, the more pleasure we have.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So true, so true. Society demonized sex and pleasure. Yes, society has. Again, it's because of how powerful it is. And so when you think about it, you know, because sex and pleasure is so powerful and it's so great, it empowers us, it helps us feeling good. I mean, how many benefits have we seen about orgasm? Orgasm boosts your immune system. It helps you to feel happy because it's increasing different hormones, the oxytocin levels, your endorphins, the serotonin, so you're not feeling pain and you can just feel happy. But society doesn't want that. Why? Because if we're feeling pain, we're buying drugs, and the big pharmaceutical companies and the government is getting money. Um, it's all about money, honestly. So when we're stuck in pain and not powerful, then not only are we buying drugs, but we're overeating. The kind of like please us, stress eating or whatever. Then to kind of satisfy yourself, you're buying all of the most expensive things. You want to, put your money to buy a Porsche or BMW or the Louis Vuitton purses or whatever. So you're spending. But when you're empowered and you're connected to who you truly are, you don't have to look towards the outside. You don't have to spend your money on buying all these different bling bling jewelry, or
Right.
I'm dating my age with these words, but you won't go out, you won't feel the need to have to put all this money to buy the most expensive cars, the most expensive clothes, the most expensive jewelries to try to prove yourself, because you will already know who you are. And so at the heart of it, that's what sexuality does. That's what connecting
Yes.
to your sexual energy does. It empowers us and we feel good about ourselves. So we don't need to go search for something exterior, something outside of us to make us feel better, you know?
No. And what I wanted to say too is so when COVID-19 started, I really wanted the women to understand that we're more than mothers, we're more than sisters, we're more than our roles. And it was so much stress around. So I started a monthly
Mhm.
group called Night on the Town in our PJ. And it is where women come in and it's no cost. And they just come in and enjoy. So we had a talent night, we had a movie night the next month, and then we had and everything is themed. And then so this
Mhm.
month we had a night of erotica. And so just like when you're talking about doing all these things, and spending money, everything doesn't cost money. There's so many things out there that's free that you can get involved with that helps you to feel better, that helps you to connect with yourself better. Um, that will even help you as you become more sexual and use the sexual energy, that you're healing a lot of areas of your life to even empower you even in a deeper way.
Yeah. And so let me respond to NC Worker. He says, I know as a guy that women want orgasms, but I have found that some are not comfortable with it. So this is the thing for a woman. For a woman to be able to have an orgasm, she needs to be able to be vulnerable. She needs to be able to surrender. So as a man, you have to make sure that you're helping her to feel safe, safe enough that she can completely let go and not have to have some fears, not have to have some type of concern. So, and then the other thing is also help preparing the body. A lot of times, you know, we're just taught that women have to, our bodies take at least 20 minutes to be ready. So, she has to be properly stimulated. For the men, you get stimulated a lot easier because you have an external genitalia. Your genitals are external, and it's easier. It's easier for you to get aroused just from looking, from thinking. Women take a lot more because we're mental. So if we're upset about something, it's going to take us longer. If we had an argument earlier or the night before, it's going to take us even longer. So you have to really prepare our body. And the woman also has to feel like you're not just touching her because you want to have a sex and you want to have an end goal. You shouldn't have an end goal of making her come, making her have orgasm, or you having orgasm. The goal, if there is an end goal, it would be to have pleasure, to connect with your partner, to enjoy that time, enjoy that space. Then she's going to feel like, okay, he's not just trying to rush to have sex, come and
Right.
then go to sleep, and she's going to open up and feel safe. So it's always important. Don't just, don't think of yourself as doing foreplay and then you have sex. Like, have like an actual, like, where you're massaging the body, saying beautiful things like, I love you, you're beautiful, whatever, speaking beautiful things in her ear, going out of your way to like set the stage, have a beautiful space, candles, incense, nice music, whatever, and make sure that's important, and have fun, laugh together, play together during that time, so that you're releasing all of the pressures, you
I
know.
want to add to that really quick too. I want to say also that women have to do their, because I was one of those women, and I really hadn't talked to my partner about it. And my fear was it had taken me so long to just to do oral sex that I was like afraid he would stop, and it was always in the back of my mind. When we start having that conversation, that was not how he was thinking. So also, I think it's important for women to talk about this, because it is also as much our responsibility as that man. NC Worker could do everything that you talked about. And if that woman is still tight, not comfortable with her own body, not comfortable, not willing to let go, um, no matter what he do. And I don't want, and I know that, so I feel like everything you said is very important and is very valid. But I also want men to understand who are doing all those things. Sometimes it don't have anything to do with you.
True.
Sometimes it has to do with the woman, who she has to do her own inner work. I didn't just
Yes.
say, I'm talking about with the inner work first. And but we all, women, have to be able to use our voices, which is be able to speak up, ask for what we need, ask for what we want. Um, and stimulation starts long before the bed. Mental
Yes.
stimulation is the most powerful stimulation.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And communication is important. You have to have communication. That's another big key. Both of you have to be able to speak with each other. So NC Worker also talked about um, we men, not all men though, but we men also want to have orgasms, not just ejaculate. And that's the thing. So I work with a lot of men, but I have a lot of men come to me who do want to ejaculate, because I work a lot with teaching men seminal retention and how to separate orgasm from ejaculation. And you can have a whole lot more pleasure. You can feel a lot. And ejaculation is a way of losing energy. So
Mm-hmm.
every time that you're ejaculating, you're losing energy. So from the tantric perspective and Taoism, we work a lot with men on similar retention. So I can definitely work with you on that. If you want to do that, let me know. But I do know a lot of men like to ejaculate and they don't want to learn. um, and NC Worker says, okay, thanks. This all makes sense. And then
Yes.
Cindy, when my boyfriend and I are going to meet, he and I, in the time leading up to it, we are on the phone constantly speaking life into each other. Yes, he is also helping me heal. He accepts and has compassion on my journey. He knows what I need. And so, yes, that just kind of, that helps the woman to be able to open up. And that's so beautiful. I'm glad you have that. Like, that's amazing.
Phone sex
Damn.
is great too.
Yes.
Like,
Phone
ooh,
sex is great too.
phone sex is great.
Yes, I'm in return helping him separate his orgasm from ejaculation. Yes, Queen. Yes, I love it. So, do you want to share with people how they can connect with you, how they can keep in touch with you? Um,
Okay, so
yeah.
I have a website. It is called it's the website is the Bohemian Goddess CW. No, it's Bohemian Goddess CWAS.live. They can go on the website. There they will find out where I do thank you. Yes, ma'am. And on that they will find out, I do holistic health work around vaginal steaming and different things like that. I also am a life coach and I have Lord have mercy, just went over out of my mind. A night on the town in our pajamas and our PJs. We have that going on. And we have the monthly, of course, I told you about the sexual ritual, the sensuality weekend. We have that going on. I just wrote a book. It's called almost 60-year journey to an almost 60-year journey to self-acceptance. All of a sudden at the end, I got okay. And then I did an anthology. I did a book called Empowerpreneurs. I have a chapter in that talking about getting to the other side of happy. Oh, and on my website, I have a blog. There is called Pussy Chronicles as Medicine, and Pussy
Ooh,
stands for pulsating, unadulterated, sacred, sensual yearning. Really talking about a woman just finding and going deep to what she really desires. And so
mhm.
it's being the acronym. And it's medicine, it's healing when we honor what we really love.
Yes,
And I
beautiful,
think
beautiful.
that's about,
And it
oh,
can,
last thing, voices. You have taught in voices. It's a sacred circle with women. And that's also on my website.
awesome. So everything's on your website.
Yeah.
Great, great. So you can check me out as well on my website, www.prandhara.com. I will be having the Sacred Kink Retreat Part 2, July 17th, 19th. We just did one, was it this month in June? And it was great. They were like, we got to do it again. We got to do it again. So we're going to do another one July 17th and 19th. Get your kink on. So it's going to be a lot about sacred sexuality, sacred kink. So a lot of times people hear kink and they get turned off thinking it's going to be something with pain and all this stuff. But there's so many different levels of kink. We're going to be talking about the communication, consent, things that's so important. That's not just important for kink, but in your relationship in general. We're going to be doing tantric workshops, a lot of healing things. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do role plays. You get to kind of role play and be a dom or a sub. And, it's all from home. It's virtual. So you'll have fun. You can turn off the camera if you want or leave it on. But there's no nudity, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's just fun exploring, getting to know yourself, getting to know what you like. So check that out. It's on my website. In August, I'm going to have the Goddess Rising Retreat for women, um, women goddesses. We're going to be talking to you, teaching you how to be more positive about your body, have more body positive image, how to like talk sexy if you're afraid or you're shy, you don't know how to talk sexy, how to get your sexy talk on. we're just going to be teaching about, oh, Cindy is a switch. You need to join our Sacred Kink then. Cindy, you will love it. We had so much fun. So much fun. And it's for all levels, whether you're beginners or advanced. And it's just a great time. I like having different levels of people because then they can talk about it. So that's awesome. Thank you for that. So we'll have the Goddess Rising in August. And also in August, I'm going to have my couples retreat for couples. And I know that there's a lot of couples going through difficult times right now. That's going to be August 1st, that first weekend in August. A lot of couples having difficulty times because, you know, Venus is in retrograde. We got 5 times retrograde. So come on, let's get recentered. Let's connect up again. And Vicky, is Vicky a switch too? Switch my life? Let me tell you. So I'm a switch too, but I'm more of a dom than anything else. But I would say I'm a switch as well because I do enjoy being a sub. Sometimes it's just like, all right, you just be in control and tell me what to do. Then other times I get off on like, being the boss and demanding things. So I love it. I'm definitely a switch, but more leaning towards the dom aspect. So check those out. Go to my website again, www.prandharaprem.com. If you want to do any like continuous work with Tantra, check out my Patreon. I have a Patreon membership starting at $5 a month, and you really get a lot. Like we do self-exploration Sundays, meditation Mondays, and Tantric Tuesdays. So if you really want to explore, get to do some exploring your body and learning more about Tantra, then, check out my Patreon. Let me write that down too. It's Patreon/PrandharaPrem.com. So any closing, Tresa?
Oh, one last thing. November, we're having a pleasure summit. And other than that, I want to say thank you to everyone who was willing and who showed up today and who will listen to this later. I had so much fun. Thank you, Renee.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I had so much fun too. So check out Tresa. Go to her website. See what she's doing. It's been beautiful. I had a great time too. Thank you so much for coming on. Love those earrings too. I'm glad I got to see them a lot closer. And I'll see you soon. We're gonna have to do another live on the topic what topic that we say that I said we're gonna have to do another one on.
It was like vaginal steaming and things like that, healing the womb.
Oh, yes, healing the womb. We're gonna do another live on healing the womb. So come back, check out, look out for it, and we'll do that. Vicky says she wants to develop her femdom. Well, come on, July 17th to the 19th. Let's do it. And Cindy says, thank you both for holding space for us. You are most welcome. It was a joy.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, it was a joy to hold space.
Yes, it was. All right.
All right. Well, you guys have a good one. Put on my closing music. I'm exploring with this. I'm loving it. So you guys have a great night and hope to see you next time. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.